Feels like it's been a while since we've been talking about a movie on this show, so it's time to wish for some more Black Series figures. Hello there, welcome back to the channel. I am Grand Moff Tony, and today we are moving on with my wishlist series to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. I love this film. I've always loved this film. I'm not one of those people that got my feelings hurt by Last Jedi, took it out on Solo, and then changed my mind 5 years later and actually decided, I like that film. Can I have a sequel, please? No. I've liked it since the beginning, so there's that. And unfortunately, I feel like the reception around the movie is the reason why we haven't seen that many Black Series figures for it. Like, there was a big push of figures back when the film first came out, but then after that it kind of died off and we haven't really seen a return to it, and it kind of feels like parts of the line have been left hanging open. And I'll talk about that when I get to one of my picks. But today I'm going to be talking about 5 characters from Solo, a Star Wars story that I need to see come to the Black Series. Now, I'm going to be following my usual rules like I do with these lists. We're not talking about HasLabs, we're not talking about massive, great big sets that are going to need a ton of investment. We're just talking about mainline releases and deluxe releases, with maybe one exception to that rule, and we will get to that. So, let's not waste any time, let's get into some honorable mentions. Firstly, I'd like to see Lady Proxima come to the line in some way or another. Now, obviously, I don't want to talk about massive sets here, but this is just a creature, and they already did such a great job with Moloch. He kind of stands out on his own in the line because there isn't really anything to go with him. You know, there are no more, like, Corellian street thugs that go with him in the line, and you don't have his boss. And his boss was one of those classic Star Wars weird creature feature moments that I've just come to really appreciate over the years. I feel like it could be a great figure. I don't know how it would work, like if it would come with a kind of water base and she would just be sort of articulated up her neck. I don't know. I just know it's a cool creature design and I would love to see it in the Black Series. In a similar sort of vein in like the early parts of the film, I would like to see the Mimban Imperial officer come to the line. Like, I know we have the Mimban Stormtrooper, and we've also got Han Solo in kind of a Mimban Stormtrooper disguise, but I kind of want more muddy Imperials. Like, give me some more beaten up looking Stormtroopers, or an officer or two, just dressed up in those really cool, like, muddy trench coats, just looking all dirty and grimy. I love it. I think it's fantastic, and I would buy it in a heartbeat. Those are the honorable mentions out of the way. Let's get into the actual picks. At number 5, we have Weasel. Now, I just want more of Enfys Nest's Cloud Riders in the line, because right now, we've got Enfys Nest, and we've got her swoop bike, and a lot like I was talking about with Moloch, she just sort of sticks out on her own, because there's nothing else to go with her. There's nothing else in the Cloud Riders aesthetic to sort of put with her on the shelf. She's just sort of awkward, and you don't really know where to put her. So I think adding a few more Cloud Riders in would make a great addition to the line, and Weasel is a pretty decent place to start with that, because I have recently discovered a very strong appreciation for small characters in the Black Series. Wicket was an incredible figure, and this is another Warwick Davis character that we could very easily bring into the line. I'm pretty sure they got a Weasel in the Force Link 2.0 line, and he looked really cool. He didn't have a removable helmet, but that's probably because he was so small. But I feel like a Black Series Weasel, we could get a removable helmet in there, you could have a really well detailed Warwick Davis head underneath, and as I say, it would just add more to the Enfys Nest Cloud Riders squad, because right now she's just out there by herself. These guys had a really grungy, really cool aesthetic, and it fits so well in Star Wars, especially in the kind of early days of the Galactic Civil War kind of period, where everyone's just kind of messy and beaten up. They just looked so cool, and I would like to get more of them in figure form. So Weasel comes in at number 5.
That's it. So loaded.
At number 4, we have Han Solo in his Corellia getup. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, where it felt like the line got left hanging open. Did anybody notice when the Black Series figures for Solo came out, they had weird distinctions on the boxes? Like, it was always like Heist Han or Corellia Kira. It kind of felt like those characters were meant to get additional variants down the line. And really, the Corellia version of Han from the opening of the movie, it feels like a figure that we were meant meant to get at some point. And then because of how the film was received, we just didn't get it. And the film was kind of abandoned by the Black Series. But I want to go back and I want that Han. I think that's such a cool look for him. And this is where I'm kind of going to bend my rules and break them a little bit because it's my channel and I'll do what I want. Why not throw in his M68 Landspeeder? We've had Landspeeders in the line before. We've had these smaller scale vehicles for like 1 or 2 people in the line before. I'm sitting next to one right now. We've had them in the line before. Why can't we go back and do it again? Like, why do all vehicles that we get in the line from now on have to be HasLabs? Now, with that being said, we all know the reason is because we didn't show up as a community for these vehicles when they were in the line originally, and we need to correct that mistake. So give me the M68 Landspeeder, give me a Corellian Han Solo, and I will buy it day one, retail, no questions asked. I just want to get that really cool kind of sports car looking ship and get it in my figure collection. As I say, this variant of Han, it feels like a figure that we were supposed to get before the line kind of dropped the Solo movie and moved on. So I really, really want it. Give me another brilliant Alden Ehrenreich head sculpt. Maybe make it look like a little younger, maybe a little grungier, some smudges and smears on his face or whatnot. I don't know, but the big selling point for me on this point is the Landspeeder. I would love to get that M68 in proper Black Series form, because I saw, again, I'm going to bring up the old Force Link 2.0 line. I saw that Landspeeder in that line and I wanted it because it just looks so cool. It's got such a cool sort of like 60s car vibe about it, and I loved it. I want it in the Black Series. So I'm gonna sit here preaching about it. Give me my Corellian Han and give me that M68 Landspeeder. Han Solo in his Corellian getup comes in at number 4.
Watch this!
At number 3, we have Quay Tolsite, the Pike Foreman of the Kessel Spice Mines. This was such an incredible character design, and we're already getting Pikes in the line because they're coming for the Book of Boba Fett line, but this was such a unique design for the Pikes that I want to get a figure of it. I really do. I'm going to bring it up again. The old Force Link line, which had the best Solo line, apparently, had this character, and it was one of the best that they ever produced. The sculpt work was incredible on the helmet and the little key fob that he carries around. I think it would translate beautifully into Black Series form. And not for nothing, like I was saying earlier with Moloch and how he kind of sticks out by himself, I feel like Quay would kind of meet the same sort of size class. He's a big, bulky guy. He walks around in all these big, posh robes, and he's carrying keys, and he's smoking something into his nose pipes there that you don't want to ask any questions about. It's just a cool looking character, and I feel like it would be great to get it in figure form. The Pikes are obviously a very, very important criminal subclass in Star Wars, so it's great that we're getting action figures of them now, and I just want more of them. I want more of them. And this guy from Solo, it was a big surprise when he showed up. I mean, obviously, you know that the Pikes are involved in Kessel, so when they're going to Kessel, they're probably going to run into a Pike, but it was brilliant to actually see one in live action after only seeing them in animation for so long. And you know what? If you want to go the extra mile, and I know it doesn't happen in the film, but being as we've seen the Pikes again in live action and we've seen what they look like, why not throw in a removable faceplate? Let me see that goopy little alien head underneath. I think it would be fantastic. I was a big fan of how they looked in live action, and I think it would be a brilliant little feature for this figure if you can just pop that face mask off and you can see that weird kind of amphibian looking alien head, because it's the Black Series. You can't give them an alien sculpt and then put a helmet on that you can't take off and hide what you know would be a beautiful alien head sculpt. With all that in mind, Quay Tolsite comes in at number 3. At number 2, I would like to see Kira in her heist getup come to the line. Now, this is another pick in the same sort of vein as wanting a Corellian Han. You know, the Kira figure came out, and on the box it had that weird distinction that this was Corellian Kira that kind of suggested that one day we were going to get heist Kira, and then obviously for whatever reason we never got her. But this, I think, is an opportunity for a really great figure, because face printing has come so far since the Last Jedi Jedi Solo series figures came out, this would be a brilliant opportunity for a beautiful Qi'ra figure. Get a really nice updated photoreal head sculpt on there and give her to me in her heist getup, and I would be all over that in a heartbeat. I'm picturing kind of a soft goods long red robe for how she initially appears when they get to Kessel, but obviously I would like that to be removable because I feel like there would be a brilliantly articulated figure underneath there that I wouldn't want to hide under a mass of fabric, which is basically what that would be. This was just such a great look for Qi'ra. It's the one that was on all of the marketing. It's the outfit that she's wearing for the actual like present day events of the movie. It just always kind of bummed me out that as much as I love that original Corellian Qi'ra, we never got heist Qi'ra. We never got her in that like that stark white jacket with the dark leggings underneath. I think it's peak Qi'ra. Like, I love the original, but this is the one that I really want. You know, toss in that soft goods cape, give her a blaster or two, and if you really want to go the extra mile and you want to continue the Black Series tradition of teeny tiny accessories, why not throw in the tiniest little gold dice for one of those impossibly small accessories that we get every now and then. I just think it would be a brilliant figure. It would be a great variant of Qi'ra, and then you could display Heist Han with Heist Qi'ra, and if you follow the rest of my suggestions, you could even display Corellian Han with Corellian Qi'ra in their little Corellian land speeder. Qi'ra in her heist getup comes in at number 2.
Deputy Assistant Administrator to the Vice Admiral of the Federation of Trade Route Allocation and Monetization. Here with an offer from His Eminence, the Senior Vice Admiral.
But the number one figure from Solo: A Star Wars Story that I need to see come to the Black Series is Crimson Dawn Maul. What a surprise to see Maul show up at the end of Solo. I mean, obviously I knew he had survived because I'd seen Rebels, but just seeing him again in live action was unbelievable, even if it was just a hologram and it was just for one scene. But what a great look for him. You know, he wasn't quite Rebels' old Master Maul yet, and he definitely wasn't Season 7 Clone Wars Maul anymore. He was somewhere in between. He had a kind of rough, beaten up, down on his luck, but also kind of still in a position of power kind of look to him. And it's an arc of Maul that I will always be very, very bitter that we never got to explore. But this is an opportunity for another great Maul figure. Now, I know he's in the line a few times already, but you have to admit those Maul figures always come out incredible. So why not give them an opportunity to knock it out of the park again? Give them an opportunity to give us another great Maul figure. Now, once again, I'm thinking like throw in a soft goods robe and a hood over the top of the figure, and obviously include his Crimson Dawn necklace as well. That's vitally important. But most important of all, you have to include that new Inquisitor lightsaber that he has just for that one scene. But you know, what I really want to see, like grungy, dirty detailing done on those legs. Make them look like they've seen some mileage. Like, make Maul look like he's seen some mileage, because the old Master Maul is coming out, and obviously this is kind of a mix of how he appeared in Rebels and how he appears in the Battlefront 2 game. But there's something, it's too clean, if you know what I mean. This is Maul at his absolute worst in the old Master appearance, and he just looks so clean in the figure form. I really want Crimson Dawn Maul to look like Maul has been dragged through a hedge backwards. You know, he's on the other side of being tortured by Darth Sidious and losing everything that he's ever had, and then scrambling to gather what power he could in the underworld under the Empire. I think this would be an absolutely brilliant Maul, and I would even, cannot believe I'm gonna say this, but given the circumstances in which we met him, I would settle for a hologram of Crimson Dawn Maul if I absolutely had to. Like, if that was the only way that I was going to get him, I would take a hologram. I would prefer a full-blown figure of him, because we know there's promotional photos that were taken of Maul in this appearance, and that's why I want this figure so much, because I've seen those pictures, I've seen what he looks like, and I've seen like other versions of it in figure form, but I really want it in the Black Series. This would be a centerpiece to behold all centerpieces if they were to go for it, and that is why Crimson Dawn Maul is my number one pick for characters from Solo: A Star Wars Story that I need to see come to this line.
Qi'ra, you and I,
will be working much more closely from now on.
So there you have it. There are my Black Series wishlist picks for Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now, this one was kind of hard to come up with picks for, but once I'd figured out what they were going to be, it was, easy. But just the build-up before that, because once you're going down the list and you're like, oh, we could get that character. Oh, they already did it. How about this one? Nope, they already did that. Did they do this one? Yes, they did. Because they really knocked Solo out one character at a time back when they did that first wave when the film first came out. But I feel like they missed some essential characters, and we can go back and we can fill in the blanks. So with all that said, let me pass this subject off to you. Are there any characters from Solo that you'd like to see come to the Black Series? There must be. There are so many cool background characters. Just pick one and go for it. But yeah, whatever your picks, let me know down below and I will get back to each and every one of you. Coming up next time on the Wishlist series is a video that I've been looking forward to since day one, because it is my favorite single piece of Star Wars media that we're talking about, because we are finally talking about Star Wars Rebels. I cannot wait. I have some great ideas for figures I want to see in the Black Series. Just stay tuned. You don't want to miss that one. In the meantime, however, I've been Grand Moff Tony. Those were my top 5 Black Series wishlist picks for Solo: A Star Wars Story. You may subscribe when ready. Characters from Star Wars: From what? From Star Wars: A Solo Story. Favorite... I didn't say S when I said because. Okay.